Welcome everybody, my name is Jacob Ferguson, and today we are going to be discussing RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 9, Episode 8. Make your own kind of music. So, this week's Maxi Challenge had the Queen's design looks inspired by RuPaul's songs and wear them on the runway. We finally got T.S. Madison as a guest judge, and the other guest judge was Jeremy Scott. Dang. Okay, I'm gonna ask you not to do that. Also, next week, y'all, I have some exciting-ish news. Next week, after the first, I will be receiving a kitten. And she will be here as well, hopefully. Hopefully, now, if she doesn't come, that's why. Seashell's gonna have a little sister named Marceline. Also, 4th of July is next Thursday, so if you're American, go enjoy that with your family. Seashell, stop it, please. Now it is time to get into the meat of the episode. So, Gottmik is snipped to begin with. They all come back into the workroom, and Stop. I love you, but you need to stop it. Okay, go play. Ingeria basically says the reason that she snipped Gottmik was because, hey, you had the same amount of badges as me. Which is bullshit, I'm sorry. Plastique Tiara has not been snipped, and she's not going to get snipped. I'm about to put you in your room. Stop it. You're being mid. Go lay down. Imagine that, but with a kitten who has the energy of a horse. So it's gonna be fun next week. You think that Seashell has unbridled chaos waiting until Marceline shows up? Seashell, stop it. I don't have food. Anyway, Gottmik basically calls this out. She's like, this was BS, what you just did. And, karma's a bitch. Enough. She's fine. She's over there. In fact, I should be over there. 1 minute. There we go. This needs to come down. Don't judge me. I know India Fair is canceled, but I'm wearing her shirt. I was sleeping in it. So, anyway, Gottmik is snipped. Chanel still has 0 badges. We know these things. What else is new? And Nina's just happy that she got $2,500 for her charity, which is great. I'm very glad for her. And, hey, I'm just excited for this challenge. So the queens walk into the workroom the next day, and RuPaul walks in and goes, hey, it is time for the photobomb mini challenge. None of them really stood out, I'm going to be completely honest. But Nina West won the mini challenge. And as a prize, she gets $2,500 for her charity. So she is now raised $5,000 for the Trevor Project. The only two that have not raised money for their charities have been Chanel, because she hasn't had the chance to, and Plastique, because she keeps on losing the lip syncs. And this will remain true into next episode. So, yippee-ki-yay, everybody. Every single other person has won some sort of money for their charity. RuPaul then announces that it is a design challenge, and that since Chanel was the first person to walk her bare ass into the workroom, she gets to choose first. The songs are Hey Sis, It's Christmas, I Bring the Beat, Lady Cowboy, Kitty Girl, Star Baby, Cha Cha Bitch, Cake and Candy, and New Friend Silver, Old Friends Gold. So the first person that gets to pick is Chanel, and she chooses Hey Sis, It's Christmas because her Christmas house. And then she decides to give Ingeria a choice, and she chooses Cake and Candy. Ingeria then chooses Gottmik, and she chooses New Friends Silver, Old Friends Gold, which Plastique wanted. Gottmik then chooses Roxy Andrews. Roxy Andrews chooses Lady Cowboy, who then chooses Plastique Tiara. No, Gottmik chooses Vanjie. Vanjie chooses Kitty Girl, who chooses Roxy, who chooses Lady Cowboy, who then chooses Plastique, and Plastique chooses Star Baby. The final two are Georges and Nina West. Georges gets to pick, and she picks I Bring the Beat, which means Nina West gets Cha Cha Bitch. Honestly, I thought that one of the Latinas was going to choose Cha Cha Bitch because it is a very Latina song. But considering the fact that neither one of them wanted to be, you know, do that, Nina West gets it. I also think Cha Cha Bitch is kind of the. It's kind of the worst song. It's not RuPaul's worst song. I still very much I dislike any use of the T slur in any of his stuff. But I will say that out of these songs, I don't really like Cha Cha Bitch at all. I think my favorite song, the one that I've listened to the most from this list, is Hey Sis, It's Christmas, or Kitty Girl. But my favorite RuPaul song of all time, since nobody asked, but I want to tell you anyway, is Main Event. I cry to that song. I get my life to that song. If that was a choice and I was there, I would have chosen that song. It's just a really fun song. I also like Call Me Mother, mostly because it's fast. So the queens get to work sewing, and it's a sewing thing. So there's not really an end product to where we can just review their performances. This is just a design challenge. Queens that immediately start doing well: Roxy Andrews, Plastique Tiara, and Gottmik. Gottmik is braiding her fabric, something that Jinx Monsoon tried to do, but then ultimately decided not to, except for like one little thing up here. Gottmik is braiding all of her fabric. Plastique is creating this giant star train. And Roxy Andrews is rhinestoning like all get out, plus helping everybody else. Chanel and Angeria are actually, well, Angeria is helping out Chanel, because Chanel does not know really what to do. And we get a lot of Chanel this episode, which is kind of nice. She is a very unironically funny person, but also we get some insight into what's happening up here. Nina West doesn't know how to make gloves. It's a mess. I think the queen that is struggling the most, though, is definitely Nina West. All of the fabric that Nina West got for the Cha Cha Bitch was sheer. And she is having very much a time because she does not like the way she looks. And she has to come to the realization that it comes from in here. I just hit the computer. It comes from in here, and loving yourself and loving what your body looks like. So she's struggling with that. She's also trying not to make it campy because Nina West is campy, and she just does not want that for this challenge. Roxy Andrews is having a time rhinestoning everything. Plastique Tiara is overwhelmed. And then RuPaul walks in. And RuPaul walks in and is like, okay, people. Let's see what you got. He talks to Gottmik about making new friends and how he's known his friends since 1985, but he's also making new friends, and they share a hug. And it's a very nice thing to see. It's weird, though, that RuPaul only really bonds with the queens over something that he has done. For instance, the looks from last season, when they did this, season 7, he bonded with all of the queens over looks that he wore. And then now he's like, well, this music means this to me. He don't really do that with the rest of them, does he? Like, sometimes we'll get little moments like when he hugged Plastique in season 11, or telling Roxy that she is her family, but we don't really get a lot of. It's like the Paul Hollywood handshake. It's like not. It's amazing when it happens, but it doesn't happen often. We see him talk to Chanel, and Chanel immediately just goes, "Listen, I'm gonna be honest. For 15 years, I've thought of myself as a failure because of what I did on the runway that last episode." And they bring up the clip of her having a full mental spiral, and saying that she wanted to go home because the judges have not been critiquing her fairly. I think that that's what they wanted to do here as well, but at the same time, they were like, I predict Chanel's probably going to win a badge next week, probably, just because it would be unfair for her not to. Chanel, he reassures Chanel that she is fine, but she had to find that within herself again. And yeah, she talks with Nina West, and Georges, and I think Vanjie at one point. She definitely talks with Angeria because the song Cake and Candy is supposed to be a bodysuit song. And she's like, I'm not trying to convince you to do a bodysuit song, to do a bodysuit, but it was meant for a bodysuit. So Angeria goes, okay, I'm going to do a bodysuit. Cut to about 5 minutes later when she realizes that she can't fit the bodysuit over herself. She goes, okay, well, I'm going to just stick with what I know. I'm going to make a pair of chaps and look gorgeous in them. Everybody's getting ready for the main stage and talking about star badges and stuff, and how Plastique was a master strategist, which she was. Angeria doesn't feel sorry. She's like, listen, Gottmik, you're one of the best designers in the room. You won last challenge, the ball, so I honestly don't feel bad that I blocked you. So, Roxy wants to challenge win, Plastique wants to challenge win, everybody wants to challenge win. And then we hit the runway. Category is make your own kind of music. Up first, Plastique Tiara, Star Baby. Now I only have one photo for each of them, so I apologize for that. But this is Plastique's look. My problem is with this photo, you can't see the star on the back. The star looked so beautiful. She looked really gorgeous. It was a gown, but it was a good silhouette on her. Her makeup was flawless, even though it was only done in 30 minutes, so that way she could finish. I really enjoyed this dress. I think that this dress was really, really well done. Let me see if I can even see her shoes. Not really, but I think that her shoes look good. I'm trying to find a flaw in the outfit, and I just don't. Maybe it's a little bit too basic as a dress, but I mean she's turning it out. Now I will say that I like her ball look more than I like this look, but she still turned it out. It's a cream for me tonight. Next is Georges, and again, I'm sorry I didn't take a good picture. Sue me, please don't. I don't have money. This look, there are two queens that I think did not do that well of a job with. Well, there's three, but one of them I actually like a little bit. But there's two queens that I don't think did that. Four queens that I don't necessarily think did that great of a job. Georges was one of them. It's a bit basic. It's a bit like a bodysuit type thing. It works for what we're going for, but it's not necessarily the best thing that she could do. Now, was it? It wasn't. This look is a crunch. I liked the pigtail the pigtails, but I just am like, well, not pigtails, side ponies. But honestly, it's a bit too dancey and performy for me. If she had walked out in a gown, gagged. But this look tonight is not necessarily the best that she could do. Up next is Gottmik. This look is great. I love this look so much. It's giving me Jacob Marley a little bit. It's giving me the lockbox, link by link. She really knocked it out of the park tonight. And I think what helped her was the fact that she's a good stylist. I will say that, is it the best that she's ever looked? No. But I think out of the two design challenges, I actually prefer this one more than I prefer her ball look. I thought her ball look was fine. But this look is really, really well executed and well done, and she should be proud of herself that she even took the time to braid all of those materials. It's just a really great concept and a really great cohesive look. Up next, Chanel. So again, we're doing the thing. We're doing the I cannot believe I'm on the runway. This has a story to it. It is very much drunk lady at a Christmas party. She's talking to all of her friends. She's warming them up. She does this with like two glasses of the spiked punch to hand to one of her friends. She's dancing to some sort of like probably Last Christmas by Wham. Let's be honest here, and she's just feeling it. It's very much that. However, this reminds me of the season 3 challenge, The Queen Who Mopped Christmas. And it's not a good thing that it reminds me of that, because it reminds me of Phoenix or Venus Delight from that season. It does not remind me of one of the good ones like Raja. And the reason that I don't think it reminds me of her, of Raja, is because there's a lot going on. There's a snowflake, and this, and this, and there's something at the hips, and it's a lot. And I feel like if she had elongated the skirt, made it a train, or made it a gown, made it like, maybe put the two puffs on the shoulders, and then done a sickening glove with the hair, without the thing in it maybe, or if you're gonna do a thing, do like a small like little Christmas ornament, great. But this look is just very, it's a lot, and it's so short that it's not like cohesive for me. I still kind of like it. I like the colors. It is giving Christmas, but it is very much, it's a little bit of a mess. And I think if Chanel would edit herself down and go, maybe I don't need all of this on my body, I think it would have worked. But yeah, it's a crunch for me. I'm sorry, Chanel. Next up is Roxy Andrews. I love this look, and I didn't get it but when she turns around, she has, Lady Cowboy and all of that on her booty, which I love that. That's a great stylistic choice. I like that. What I will say is that it was missing a cowboy hat. If she had a little cowboy hat on the top, icon, great. She could have walked out as Lady Cowboy. It's giving Cowboy Carter before Cowboy Carter even existed. Because remember, this was filmed last year. Um, it's a great look, isn't it? It's a great stylistic choice. And to do all of that in the workroom, nobody's ever going to be able to replicate that flawlessly. Um, I like the bandana. I like the blue. I saw the tassels. I do agree with Jeremy Scott though. He basically said, "Listen, that sort of when she took off the jacket, it made her look like she had less fringe on. So keeping that jacket on we would have been able to enjoy the full look more." Um, which I agree with. I think that it was a very bold choice of her to take that jacket off like in the first 5 minutes. I'm gonna skip to Angeria next. She wasn't the next in the runway, but I want to talk about her. Angeria Paris Van Michaels got cake and candy. Can I be honest here? It's not giving me cake or candy. The rest of them, I could kind of see where it was going, but with Angeria, it was a little bit too disconnected from the song, for me at least, for it to be the exact same thing. Like, the rest of them, I could understand. I could. With Angeria, it was like, well, I have a butt, so that's the cake, and where's the candy? I guess like the bubblegum pink. I don't know. It honestly it didn't work for me. She looked beautiful, but at the same time, I feel like we've seen Angeria in that silhouette before. Um, a lot. Like lip sync outfits and stuff. Like we've seen her with chaps and you know side cutouts and stuff. So if she had gone with the bodysuit, I think it might have been better. But I would have preferred very much like maybe a gown with candy pieces on it, or something like that. I don't know. This look was a crunch. Just because of how disconnected to the song it was, in my opinion. Up next is Vanessa Vanjie Mateo. I'm going to be completely honest here. I don't live for this look. She got Kitty Girl, and it is leopard print. I think that the problem, though, is that she only really used one fabric to do the initial bodysuit with. There were a lot of like leopard print stuff that you could actually see. They couldn't see this on the runway. They had to like really lean in and look at it to know that it was leopard print. I think that it was a stylistic choice, and I don't think that it really worked out in Vanessa Vanjie's favor. I love Vanessa Vanjie Mateo, but I don't necessarily think that she did that great of a job doing this outfit tonight. I mean, there's no fit issues. It's like Georges's. It's not necessarily, it's her, but I feel like we've seen, just like with Angeria and Georges, and Chanel even, I feel like we've seen her in this look before. And it works, but it's just not necessarily to the level that I wanted it to be. And finally is Nina West. I didn't take a good picture of her at all. Jesus Christ. But this is Nina West. She had Cha Cha Bitch. I'm gonna just say it. This was one of the best of the night for me. Her gloves looked great. Her polka dot headpiece looked great. I don't necessarily like that she did that. I wish that it had been like a little hat or something. Like not a disc, but like a little hat. Because you miss the face when you have something over it. It reminded me kind of Shangela-La's gold disc moment. I didn't necessarily enjoy it. But the rest of the look, from here down, loved it. Makeup was stunning. Look was stunning. It was a little bit different for Nina West while still being in that campy sort of element that I think that she was trying to stray away from, but it worked out in her favor because she looked good while doing it. She looked great. They really gave her some positive feedback, and it's a cream for me tonight. So, I'm also going to talk about Canada versus the world, so that's why there's 25 minutes left, unless this video goes over. I don't know. So, the judges' critique, I did not watch it, or the judges' deliberation, I did not watch it. I watched the critiques just to see who was going to be in the top. But the deliberation, I don't care. I make my own opinions. I form them. And the top two, for me at least, were Plastique Tiara and Roxy Andrews, with Nina West and Gottmik being high. Gottmik could have replaced probably Plastique Tiara up there if they really wanted to. Roxy was a definite top for me. And Plastique only wins out from Gottmik because of the train. That was hard to do. But they are the top two of the week, which means that Plastique Tiara has 4 wins, 0 blocks. Roxy has 4 wins and has been blocked twice. Angeria has 3 wins, and the rest of them have 2 wins minus Chanel, who has 0. Georges only has technically 1 win, but she has 2 badges. And Roxy technically only has 3 wins, but she has 4 badges. So, the Queens lip sync to No One Gets the Prize by Diana Ross, and Diana Ross is one of RuPaul's favorite artists, but more importantly than that, she's my favorite artist. I love Diana Ross. My favorite song of hers is The Boss, followed immediately by Home from The Wiz. I remember watching The Wiz when I was a kid and instantly falling in love with her. Even though she was too old to play Dorothy, I freaking love The Wiz. So much so that when it came to the theater in the town I live in, when it was touring, I bought a ticket and watched it, and it was quite good. Diana Ross, great artist. I feel like they've utilized her very well on Drag Race. Done all of her greatest hits. So this was kind of like a deep cut, but I still knew it because, of course, I'm a Diana Ross fan. Roxy Andrews was Diana Ross. I think the problem with queens who lip sync to Diana Ross, sometimes, like in terms of Trixie Mattel or Plastique in this version, and of course there's nothing wrong with this, is that they're not Diana Ross. They don't really do any of the Diana Ross mannerisms. BB Zahara Benet, who did The Boss on All Stars 3, was very, bouncy Diana Ross. And she's you can pick up on her mannerisms. She's very, she uses her arms a lot. She does this a lot. She sways with the music. It's very, that. If you embody that, it will make RuPaul remember Diana Ross and laugh because Diana Ross is iconic. So Roxy was doing that. She also started filing her nails during the lip sync song, which was goddamn hilarious. Plastique, I feel like she knew the words this time. Fell into the same trap that she always does. She always does this, and it always confuses the fuck out of me of why she's doing this. But, she lays on the ground. I'm not going to get to Canada versus the world, by the way. That'll be a separate video. She lays on the ground, and, she does, the same thing. And then she points to the queen and is trying to interact with them. And I feel like if you just make the song your own and really lean into just the beauty and know the words, I feel like for this song that she could have done that. Not necessarily for the other 3. I don't think that there was any saving Jump in the Line or Be My Lover, especially if she wasn't going to lip sync the other thing. But, or Super Freaky Girl. I don't think there was any saving those because she didn't know the words to any of them. But in this song especially, you could get so much mileage out of just being in the moment and present and not trying to focus on what Roxy is doing. Roxy is doing her own thing. She's just being Diana Ross. And I think that that's what made her lose the lip sync, is the fact that, like, her face was not emoting enough. It was the entire time. I honestly, I'm kind of mad at Plastique because she has what it takes. It's just in these lip syncs, she's constantly failing us because she makes it to the top. She cares more about the challenge than she does the lip sync. And then when it gets time to the lip sync, for, for the first 3 times that she lip synced, she did not know the words and she did not do well. And she did the exact same moves every single lip sync. Be My Lover really tipped me off to the fact that she didn't know the words, and then I looked back. Bitch didn't know the words for any of the other songs. Now, Super Freaky Girl, I can understand because that rap is fast, and also they, I don't like Super Freaky Girl that much anyway. But for like Jumping the Line, that's just like a little chorus, Um, and this song, she really, if she had really like gone full Diana Ross, embodied it, and moved with the music, and didn't care about what Roxy was doing, she would have won for me. But Roxy does not care what Plastique is doing, and she is just emoting and doing like dancing on the stage, and it's mesmerizing and powerful. Um, there have been a couple times where Roxy has. There's been a time, Super Freaky Girl, Roxy didn't know the words, and to me, that's just not appropriate. But she knew the words now. She knew the words to Black Cat. She's really done what needs to be done with this show to make uh, make it her own. I can clearly see her in my top 3 now, and she's definitely going to be. I don't think that there's any doubt in my mind that Roxy Andrews and Angeria are going to be. Plastique is another story. I feel as though Plastique is about to not make it to the top 4. She's not near won a challenge, a cent for the Asian American Foundation, and she is not doing that great in the lip syncs. She has great looks. She does great in the challenges, but when you don't do the third thing, which is to learn the words or to do the song to a degree that is really better than anybody else could do it. Like Roxy did that song. She bodied Plastique. I'm sorry. It's almost like Plastique does not care about raising the money. She just wants to be on the show. And she could win the $200,000. I don't think that she's going to, especially if it comes down to a lip sync, but hey. So that's my thought on that. I know a lot of Plastique fans will be in the comments getting mad at me. Plastique is a great person. Plastique's a great queen. She knew the words this time. And I could clearly see that she was upset by not winning the lip sync. But besides all of that, I think that she has still a good chance to win. I clearly see Angeria and Roxy in my top 3, just because of the storyline, and I think that Plastique could be up there. Another queen that I think could be up there is Vanessa Vanjie Mateo, or Gottmik, or Nina West. The only person that I'm not seeing in my top 4 is Chanel. And Georges. I feel like Georges needed the confidence boost, but then after that, they were like, okay, picking up the pet, putting her over here, patting her on the head. You're not winning any more challenges. Picking up Chanel, shaking her, telling her she's not good enough, putting her over here, patting her on the head, saying, you're probably going to win a challenge, but that's it. They are saying, Chanel, you are good enough to be here, yet we're not going to just give you a badge. You got to earn that shit. So in my top 3 is Angeria, Plastique, and Roxy, with Gottmik probably leading up the rear. The next episode seems to be the Rosemary's Baby Shower Rusical. I have seen Rosemary's Baby. It was an okay movie. I'm really excited that it's a horror musical. As for who I think could be in the top, it's going to probably be Chanel and somebody else. Because there's only 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks to win badges. So Chanel needs to step her pussy up. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. I have been Jacob Ferguson. Stay safe, my dudes.